And you're right, in the second half, and especially in the last month when it looked like, and that's kind of ironic too, in the last month they didn't practice, and yet they finished the season on a 6-1-2. They had their best stretch of the season with no practices.
I think that this topic is worthy of debate. I think that I'll concede the point that a team in Utica is going to be able to practice more. But what I didn't like were the comments from the Canucks, which kind of omitted one of the big developments of recent years, and that's there's a whole division in California now. And there wasn't when they made the decision, that didn't exist when they made the decision to move to Utica. So definitely things have changed. I don't know if they've changed dramatically enough to bring the potential practice time in line. I sure know that there are advantages to proximity, and it's why there is a division in California, because teams want to be close to their farm club. And there are, I think there are a host of reasons for it. I think that you, like for instance, if there was if the Canucks had their farm club here, they could be monitored by their training and strength staff. There's lots of opportunity for engagement from management to go over and the exchange of ideas constantly with the, Green is there right now. Green could go to games all the time if you're here in Vancouver and checking out these guys and getting not having to talk to Cull and getting his take on who's playing well and who's not playing well. I think that the team in proximity, if it's closer, has more. I think that it has more influence. It has more influence if Jim's there all the time or Trevor's there all the time. And I think that there are development advantages. And you just don't go any further than Thatcher Demko and the kind of travel schedule that he had to go through just to get to Vancouver to play this one game. Now, he saw immense value in playing that one game. Now, other teams, and this has become increasingly a popular modern development technique for young goalies, is that 22, 23-year-old goalies are used as backups for starters who are expected to play 55, 60 games, like Markstrom will be. And when you know that your starter, say Markstrom, is going to go on a long run of starts, you can flip, you could switch Backman. Like, let's say Demko starts the year as his backup, plays a couple games early in the season. You can flip Backman and Demko, for example, to pick one and send Demko back to the Abbotsford Comets, and he can play a string of games there, and then he can come back to the Canucks after, and he can go back and forth. And a lot of teams, Nashville did it, there's a lot of teams that did this, that it's a really effective way to get young goalies used to playing in the NHL while also getting them a significant amount of playing time. That's all but impossible with the Vancouver situation with Utica. There is no distance greater than that one. Like, I saw people point out, like, I don't know what are the furthest ones, but someone was pointing out Edmonton and Bakersfield to me. But still, Edmonton, I think that's a 2-hour drive out of LA. There's all kinds of direct flights to LA for sure. Like, Utica is crazy. It's like an hour and something drive to Syracuse. Right. Then you got to get to Syracuse and figure out how to get to Vancouver. Well, that's either going to Chicago or it's going through Toronto. It's multiple flights. It's a long drive to get there. There's no other situation like it. So for the team, for a player, if the Canucks are missing a defenseman and they have an opportunity to bring up Brisebois, they can't bring him up for a game. Or if they have a forward spot that they could use a young forward for, let's say Dallin's down in the minors next year and they've got a game or two on their third line where they're missing a guy, they're going to be reluctant to bring Dallin and give him those situations because of the travel. And if the team were here and the minor league team was at home, it would be very easy. Just, hey, come on over. Like, let's play a couple of games here.
Right, and we've seen this before, that when you do get a call up, and Demko's a good example, like his travel day was ridiculous for a 1 o'clock start, too. That game that he played against Columbus, like, it was all day, like, good on him. And he even said after the game, like, I don't know if it was a good thing that it was a 1 o'clock start. He said, my body didn't know what time it was. Right. It was just, game time. But there were other examples of that, too. So you're asking an awful lot of these guys who would crawl from Utica to play for the opportunity to play in the NHL, but you want to put them in a position to succeed and give them the best opportunity of, playing well and helping themselves and helping the team. And so, I always thought when they were the Chicago Wolves, center of the continent, you can get anywhere, whether the Canucks were at home or on the road, direct flights. That was a perfect setup. Even Winnipeg was pretty good when they were the Manitoba Moose for a while there. 2-hour flight with the time change. Guy could get an 8 a.m. flight in Winnipeg and be here for the morning skate, and it wasn't an onerous travel day.
No.
But
even then, the dream to have a team localized in here in the market was talked about all the time.
Sure.
Like, it was always like, let's get a team here. And the Canucks, like, make no mistake, the Canucks were close. Like, they looked at Seattle. They negotiated with Abbotsford. Like, Aquilini wanted the world, though. And, like, no surprise. I don't think anyone was surprised there. But the story I heard was that they wanted land. Like, they want to put that team there. The trade-off was they were going to get land to develop. And Abbotsford said, no, we're not doing that. And bridges were burned, and it doesn't look like that's ever going to be opened again to an opportunity. I don't think – is Langley up to standards? Like, is that possible, do you think?
I would say no. It's a great facility for what it is at the BC Hockey League, but I don't think that it's but there's talk of Surrey building a bigger rink, sort of in that 6,000 range. That
oh
might
man,
be, but
I swear, like I honestly believe that a team, like they talk about, like Utica and all these fans, like I think it's and the atmosphere and how important that is. I think that if you have a Canucks farm team that's good, and you have a great farm system, and you have that team in Surrey, I think it would do bananas business.
Well, I look at Winnipeg and San Jose, both have their farm teams play in the NHL rink, and we've been down in San Jose where the Barracudas will play an afternoon game and the Sharks play at night. And maybe that's asking too much, but there are a lot of hardcore hockey fans that would be in for the double dip, especially, as you said, like if it was a good farm team and the interest in prospects has never been higher. The one thing there, and keep in mind that it's always a business, like any, beer or popcorn or whatever sold at Rogers Arena, goes in the pockets of the owners. Like they own the rink, they're getting a big cut. So, would they be interested in 36 event nights a year on top of what they've got? I mean, concerts are big business for them, so I'm not sure that you could slide another hockey team with a full schedule into Rogers Arena, but I'm sure that it's been looked at as well.
LA has like multiple teams.
Yeah, no, you're right.
So they could definitely do it.
So something to consider. Again, the lease with Utica, or the arrangement with Utica, set to expire at the end of next season.